What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. I think this is a somewhat important video. I see a lot of people doing this, and while it does have some benefits, it also does have some cons, and I think not a lot of people consider those cons into effect when they do this. We're going to get right into it. We're not going to be beating around the bush. You saw the thumbnail, you read the title of the video, my opinions on backpack carry or bag carry. So I'm going to be going over some of the pros and cons. Then, of course, I'm going to give my final opinion overall on whether or not I believe it's a good idea. Now, I am speaking from experience. I did backpack carry for a good long while. And I noticed a couple of pros and cons. You know what I mean? Some things that I was not the happiest with, and some things that I was very happy with. So, with that being said, we're going to start with the pros. The biggest pro out of all of them is that it is the most comfortable way to carry right next to pocket carry. So, I actually also did a video on pocket carry. If you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. But with backpack carry, you have your gun in your backpack. I mean, there's no weight dragging down your pants in any way, shape, or form, or even your pockets. You know, there's nothing pressing up onto your waist. There's none of that. It's very comfortable. You know what I mean? It's very easy to carry a gun in your backpack. Most people, you know, when they see someone walking with a backpack, their first instinct isn't, oh yeah, they have a gun in there. So, with that being the case, it's, you know, you're thinking, okay, yeah, there's a pretty decent method of carry just from that. And while I will say that it can be a good method of carry if you have to, you know, transport or carry several different firearms with you, let's say, you know, you're about to go to a range day, you know, of course, you're going to have to carry them all in a bag or a backpack, something along those lines. Now, when I I can English. When I do say bag carry, I am also going to, you know, reference purses that, you know, your standard woman would probably wear carry. I don't know how would they do y'all wear purses or just carry them? How does that work? So just carrying? Okay, carrying. That's a better way to phrase it. Sorry, look, y'all might look at me like I'm stupid, but I don't know shit about that. But so now, as I was saying before, when I'm talking about bag carry, I am also going to mention, you know, your standard type of purse that a woman would carry with her. So back to what I was saying. All right, that is one of the biggest pros is the comfortability of it. It is extremely concealable considering you're not worrying about it imprinting in your backpack unless you have a super small backpack or unless you have an extremely large gun in there. You know, so you got options, but the chances of printing and making it obvious you have a gun in your backpack are slim to none. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, another good thing is it's comfortable if you have to sit down. You can, you know, set it right next to you, whatever. It's extremely easy. You don't have to worry about having to readjust yourself. This also falls along the lines of comfortability. I do keep harping on the comfortability because that, while being its biggest pro, is almost its only pro. Ah, jeez. As I said, while being its biggest pro, it's almost its only pro in all reality. Because with the cons that I have upcoming, it almost takes any other pro you could think of off the table. So, first things first, we have the simple matter of fact that someone can steal your backpack. If someone finds out you have a gun in there, you know, and then they say start walking behind you, unless this backpack is clipped to your body itself, to your person, they can just snatch that shit and run with it. That's something that a lot of people don't think about when they carry in their backpack. Oh shit, here we go again. Someone can steal your backpack and it'll be very easy to do so, especially since it's not on your person. They're not really worried about having to fight and wrestle with you too much unless you have a great grip on your bag itself. That does go for purses as well. Much easier with purses, especially since, you know, women aren't the strongest as a whole compared to a man who's more likely than not going to be the one to try to steal your gun from you. Now, on top of the fact that it can just be stolen from you, during a heat of the moment situation where you need your gun, how likely is it that you're going to be able to take off your backpack, open it up, reach in there, and if you don't have a round in the chamber, rack around in the chamber, aim, and then get into the fight? The likelihood of that is going to be very, very small. You're probably going to get tackled, if not shot, if not whatever, well before that'll happen, well before you'll be able to execute that. Now, I've seen situations where, sometimes people are lucky enough to be able to do all of those things. However, it is very, very rare. Very rare. It's not something I recommend due to the fact that it's not as quick to get access to. Now, another con is if you keep a round in the chamber, which you're going to want to do, right? Because considering it's in a bag, you're going to want to be able to get it into the fight as quick as possible. With a round in the chamber, if there's anything else in that bag, any loose fabric, any of that can get in the trigger guard, you run the risk of a negligent discharge, all when you don't mean to. It can literally be from you walking around with it on. You don't know. You're not looking in the bag 24/7. There's no way that you're going to be able to tell exactly how it got in there and what caused a negligent discharge exactly. But the simple matter of fact is most people, they don't keep their backpacks or their bags or their purses empty for everything except for their gun. They don't do that. They throw a bunch of shit in there. Oh, I got these papers. Let me throw that in there. Money. Let me throw that in there. Keys. Throw that in there. Whatever they want to throw in there, they will put in there. You see what I mean? And that runs the issue of risking a negligent discharge. Now, you would think, okay, yeah, that's a pretty big con right there, that, a negligent discharge. Here's the issue. It's kind of a double-edged fuck you, if you will. So here's why. On top of forcing you to, not be able to safely have a round in the chamber, it essentially forces you to not have a round in the chamber, because at that point you don't want to risk your safety in worrying about a negligent discharge, which then puts it on you to have to be quicker with getting around in the chamber in a heat of the moment situation when seconds matter. You don't want to get fucked over. You see what I mean? When milliseconds matter and you're wasting an entire second just to rack the slide, you see what I mean here? You can get screwed over. And that's a really fucking big deal here. It's essentially a double-edged sword of fuck you. It literally sits here and tells you, since, hey, you want to be super comfortable, you need that comfortability right there. Go ahead and have it. You can have it. However, you run the risk of accidentally, your gun going off. Oh, well, I don't want that. I'll just not have a round in the chamber. Cool. It's going to take you a lot fucking longer to get in the fight. You see what I mean? It's almost like, whoever thought of the idea of backpack carry or bag carry, either one, completely ignored common sense, or two, knew about it and said, you know what, this is a good way to fuck with people. Maybe backpack carry is just a whole troll. Who knows? Maybe it started out as like a troll. Someone's like, oh yeah, I just carry my gun in my backpack, fucking around. And then other people took it seriously and then it became a trend. I don't know. All right. But what I can say is that common sense would tell you that there are more cons than pros. It's not necessarily even where the pro is outweighing the cons necessarily. It's bad. Now, I do want to touch into the topic of, some standard purses that women would carry. And if you're like me, at least, I'm scared to go into my wife's purse. I am scared to go into her purse. I might find a fucking dead body in there for all I know. It has a ton of shit in it. All right. I don't know if it's the same with your guys' wives. I don't know. But with how much shit is in there, I would not put a gun with the round in the chamber in there. Why would I want that to be the case? Why would I want her to have that in there and her bro, I'm sorry, but sometimes she swings that purse around. If it's open, that gun can come out. Shit can just start moving around, get in the trigger guard, pull the trigger. You see what I mean? It's not necessarily a great idea, considering how much women as a whole are known for stuffing their purses. And granted, some people may say, oh, yeah, you're running this off a stereotype. This is from what I've seen. All right. My wife's purse was this way. My mom's purse was this way. My grandma's purses were this way. I have not met a woman whose purse was neat. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I have never met a woman whose purse was genuinely neat. And that's just the way she goes. You know what I mean? That's life, fellas. You live, you learn, you get over it. All right. So, just touching on that topic right there, I think carrying in a purse as a whole runs a bit more of a issue just for the fact that women are known for stuffing their purses. That it makes it not really, it puts them at a disadvantage due to the fact that that's one of the few, I guess, accessories that women are consistently known for having and it not being a big deal. So most people are not thinking, oh yeah, there's a gun in that woman's purse. That's not what most people are thinking. So just that aspect right there is kind of a big deal. Now, there are some purses that are made for concealed carry. They're essentially made with a holster, I believe, that are lined into them. So that, would be a viable option. That would be an option where it's like, okay, yeah, you can put some stuff in the purse, whatever. However, from what I've seen, because I was going to get one for my wife for her birthday last year, it was expensive and we were dirt broke at the time. Not the point. The point of the matter, though, is simply that there are options in that case. If you're a woman watching this video and that's what you're looking for, there are options. I personally don't know the name of the brands. It's not something I remembered, but there are options. You can look it up and you can find them, and just make sure it's lined with a good form of holster or good form of lining, whatever they call it, that would prevent something from getting in the trigger guard and causing a negligent discharge. Now, with that being all said, I'm going to go over my final thoughts on whether or not it's a good idea as a whole to bag carry. And you know what? Honestly, this even goes for, I think the only exception to the bag carry method that isn't as non-accessible is maybe a fanny pack, something along those lines, or a little chest pack, whatever, right? Something along those lines, I more so can see, okay, yeah, that's a bit more accessible. It's strapped to your body, so it's harder to just steal off you. Whatever. I can see that. That makes a bit more sense to me. I think that's the only exception to what I'm about to say when it comes to backpack or bag carry. Bag carry just as a whole doesn't seem like that great of an idea. While it may be comfortable, it may be helpful if you need to move several firearms at one point in time without having to make several trips. Yeah, it may be helpful for that, but just the downsides as a whole, worrying about someone can steal it, just worrying about someone can sit there and on top of just stealing it, someone has to worry about negligent discharges. Because who the fuck knows whether that negligent discharge is going to hit someone else or not. So on top of someone just stealing it, you have to worry about negligent discharges, which may which may make someone else have to worry about getting shot negligently for no fucking reason. They're just in the wrong place at the wrong time and got hit by your ND there. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of things that you have to worry about with it. On top of the fact that you can't even have a round in the chamber safely. So it forces you to not have one, which makes it longer and more difficult for you, to get into the fight. It just doesn't seem like it's worth it to me. As I said, there are some exceptions where I can see it being useful. There are some exceptions where, some people even, for example, they have, foldable PCCs in their backpack. That's a good idea, of course. You're obviously not going to be able to conceal carry a handgun on you. However, there's pros and cons to everything. I might do a video talking about the foldable PCCs as a whole, my opinion on those. But I'm not going to sit here and go off topic. I think that about wraps it up for this video. My overall opinion, it's not the best idea. With that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me that while bag carry, yes, very comfortable, Very comfortable because it's not on your goddamn person, so it's not like it's going to be uncomfortable for you. Probably not your best route of carry. Why? You're worrying about it being stolen. You're worrying about negligent discharges. You're worrying about getting into the fight on time. There's just too many cons. If you agree with me, y'all make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.